see you, and welcome to Almeria. We have Cingas and Canleche, we have Fiesta and Faria. We have the sun of the Chinchona, we have brandy and half Corona, and Leonardo and his accordion, and calamari and macaroni. Come all you rambling boys of pleasure, and ladies of easy leisure. We must say adios until we say Amaria once again. And this one's there. Will you kindly kill a doll for me? There is one Hishona in the bingo. All he tells us why she's crazy.
Yogurt is excellent for the stomach, kidneys, appendix, and apotheosis. It is Dr. Mackenzie King who told me this. He is the one that takes care of our neighbors' children, the Johns. He's a good doctor. One can trust him. He has not prescribed any medicine that he has not tried on himself first. Before operating on Parker, he had his own liver operated on, even though he wasn't the least bit ill.
But how does it happen that the doctor pulled through, while Parker did not?
Because the operation was successful for the doctor, but not in Parker's case.
Well, then Mackenzie is not a good doctor. The operation should have succeeded with both of them, or else both should have died.
Why?
A conscientious doctor always dies with his patient if they are not to get well together. A captain goes down with the ship into the briny deep. He does not survive alone.
But one cannot compare a patient with a ship.
Why not? A ship has its diseases too. Moreover, your doctor is as hell as a ship. That's why the doctor should have died at the same time as his patient, like a captain and his ship.
Oh, I never thought of it that way. And then what conclusion do you draw from this?
All doctors are quacks, and all patients too. Only the Royal Navy is honest in England.
But not sailors.
Naturally. Here's a thing I don't understand. In the newspaper, they always list the age of the deceased, but never of the newly born. That doesn't make any sense.
I never thought of that.
It says here that Bobby Watson died.
My God, the poor man. When did he die?
Why do you pretend to be astonished? Surely you remember that he died 2 years ago.
Yes, I remembered right away, but I don't see why you yourself were so surprised to see it in the paper.
It wasn't in the paper. He's been dead for 3 years. Surely you remember that we attended his funeral 1.5 years ago. I remembered it through an association of ideas.
What a pity. He was so well preserved.
He was the handsomest corpse in Great Britain. Poor Bobby. He didn't look his age, but he'd been dead for 4 years, and he was still warm. A veritable living corpse. And how cheerful he was.
Poor Bobby.
Which poor Bobby do you mean?
It is his wife that I mean. Her name was Bobby, too. You can never tell one from the other when you saw them together. It was only after his death you could really tell one from the other. Even then, people still confused her with the deceased and offer their condolences to him. Do you know her?
I met her once, by chance, at Bobby's burial.
I've never met her. Is she pretty?
Well, she has regular features, yet one cannot say that she is pretty. She is too big and too stout. She doesn't have regular features, but yet one can say that she is very pretty. She is too small and too thin. She's a voice teacher.
And when they plan to get married, those two?
Next spring at the latest.
We shall have to go to their wedding, I suppose.
We shall have to give them a wedding present. I wonder what.
Why don't we give them one of the 7 silver salvers that were given to us in our wedding and never been in use to us? What a pity for her to be left a widow so young.
Fortunately, they had no children.
That was the last thing they needed, children. How could she have managed?
She's still young. She may very well remarry. She looks so well in mourning.
But you know very well they had a boy and a girl. What were their names again?
Bobby and Bobby, just like their parents. Bobby Watson's uncle, old Bobby Watson, is very rich and very fond of the boy. He may very well pay for Bobby's education.
That would be proper. And Bobby Watson, Bobby Watson's aunt, in her turn, may very well pay for the education of Bobby Watson. So that way Bobby Watson's mother, could remarry. Has she anyone in mind?
Yes, a cousin of Bobby Watson's.
Who? Bobby Watson?
Which Bobby Watson do you mean?
Why, Bobby Watson, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's other uncle.
No, it's not that one. It's Bobby Watson, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's aunt.
Do you mean Bobby Watson, the commercial traveler?
All the Bobby Watsons are commercial travelers.
What a difficult trade. However, they do well at it.
Yes, when there's no competition.
And when is there no competition?
On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays.
3 days a week. And then what does Bobby Watson do on those days?
He rests. He sleeps.
Then why doesn't Bobby Watson work on those 3 days if there's no competition?
Look, I don't know everything. I can't answer all your idiotic questions.
Oh, are you trying to humiliate me?
Oh, you know very well that I'm not.
All you men are alike. You sit there all day, roughing your lips, powdering your nose, a cigarette in your mouth, or drinking like a fish.
And what if I were to say that women act like men do? Powdering their nose, rouging their lips, drinking whiskey, smoking cigars.
It's nothing to me, but if you're only saying that to annoy me, you know very well I don't care for that kind of stuff.
Oh, my little ducky daddles, what a little spitfire you are. What a ridiculous pair of old lovers we are. Come, let's go put out the lights and go bye-byes.
I'm the maid. I spent a very pleasant afternoon. I've been to the cinema with a man and I saw the film with some women. After the cinema, we went to go drink some brandy and milk and then read the newspaper.
Oh, I hope you've had a pleasant afternoon going to the cinema with a man and drinking brandy and milk.
And the newspaper.
Mr. and Mrs. Martin, your guests are here. They were waiting for me. They didn't dare come in by themselves. You're supposed to have dinner with them this evening.
Oh, yes. We were supposed to have dinner with them this evening. We were expecting them and we were hungry, but they never showed an appearance. You shouldn't have gone out.
But it was you who gave me permission.
We didn't do it on purpose.
I bought me a chamber pot.
My dear Mary, please let in Mr. and Mrs. Martin while we change quickly.
Why have you come so late? You're not very polite. People should be punctual. Do you understand? But now that you're here, sit down anyways.
It seems to me that I met you somewhere before, madam.
I too, it seems to me that I've met you somewhere before.
Was it perhaps in the city of Manchester that I caught a glimpse of you?
It is indeed possible. I'm originally from the city of Manchester, but I do not have a good memory, sir. I cannot recall whether it was there that I caught a glimpse of you or not.
Good God, that's curious. I too am originally from the city of Manchester.
That's curious.
Isn't that curious? Only I left the city of Manchester about 5 weeks ago.
How curious. What a bizarre coincidence. I too left the city of Manchester about 5 weeks ago.
I took the 8:30 morning train, which arrives at London at 4:45, my dear lady.
That's curious. How bizarre, and what a coincidence. I too took the same train, sir.
How bizarre, and what a coincidence. I traveled second class. England doesn't have second class. I traveled second class.
How curious, and what a bizarre coincidence. I too traveled second class, my dear sir.
Perhaps we met in second class, my dear lady.
It is indeed possible, and not entirely unlikely, but I do not recall seeing you there, my dear sir.
My seat was in coach number 8, compartment 6, my dear lady.
How curious that is. My seat was also in coach number 8, compartment 6, my dear sir.
Then perhaps we met in compartment number 6, my dear lady.
It is indeed possible, and not entirely unlikely, but I do not recall meeting you on the train, my dear sir.
To tell the truth, I don't recall it either. But it seems to me even very likely that we met on that very occasion.
Yes, of course. Oh, truly, sir.
I had seat number 3, next to the window, my dear lady.
How curious that is. I had seat number 6 across from you, my dear sir.
Good Lord, that's curious. What a bizarre coincidence. Well then, we were seated facing each other on the train. We must have came to know each other on that occasion, madam.
It is indeed possible, but I do not recall meeting you, my dear sir.
To tell the truth, I don't recall it either, but we must have met on that very occasion. It seems quite possible.
That's true, but I still don't recall seeing you, my dear sir.
Were you not the lady who asked me to put her luggage in the luggage rack and thanked me and gave me permission to smoke?
Indeed, that must have been I. Oh, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. But I do not recall seeing you, my dear sir.
How curious, how bizarre, what a coincidence. I don't recall it either, but it seems to me that we met on that very occasion.
It could be possible, but I do not believe that I remember seeing you, my dear sir.
Nor do I, madam. Since coming to London, I reside in Bromfield Street, my dear lady.
How curious it is, and what a coincidence. Since coming to London, I too have resided on Bromfield Street.
Well then, perhaps we saw each other on Bromfield Street, my dear lady.
It is indeed possible, not entirely unlikely, but I do not recall seeing you there, my dear sir.
I reside at number 19, my dear lady.
How curious that is, and what a bizarre coincidence. I too reside at number 19, my dear sir.
Well then, we must have saw each other in that house, my dear lady.
It is very possible, and not entirely unlikely, but I do not recall seeing you there, my dear sir.
My flat is on the 5th floor, number 8, my dear lady.
How curious that is, and what such a bizarre coincidence. My flat is too on the 5th floor, number 8, my dear sir.
How curious it is, how curious it is, how curious it is, and what a coincidence. You know, madam, in my bedroom, there is a bed with green eiderdown, and this room is located at the end of the corridor, next to the toilet and bookcase, my dear lady.
How curious it is, and what a bizarre coincidence. My bed too has green eiderdown, and it is located at the end of the corridor between the toilet and the bookcase.
Well, then it is, madam, that we sleep in the same room, the same bed. We must have met there, and how bizarre, curious, strange that is, madam.
It is indeed possible, and maybe even last night, but I do not recall meeting you, my dear sir.
I have a little girl. She lives with me, my little daughter. She's 2 years old, she has blonde hair, she has one white eye and one red eye. She is very pretty. Her name is Alice, my dear lady.
How curious it is, and what a bizarre coincidence. I too have a daughter. She has blonde hair with a white eye and a red eye, and she's 2 years old. Her name is Alice, and she is very pretty.
How curious it is, what a bizarre coincidence. Perhaps they are the same, my dear lady.
It is indeed possible, my dear sir.
have met, and that you are my own wife. Elizabeth, I have found you again!
Donald, it's you!
Donald and Elizabeth are now too happy to hear me. I can therefore let you in on a secret. Donald is not Donald, and Elizabeth is not Elizabeth, and here is the proof. The child that Donald spoke of is not Elizabeth's daughter. They are not the same person. Donald's daughter has a red eye and a white eye, like Elizabeth's daughter, whereas Donald's daughter has a white right eye and a red left eye, and Elizabeth's daughter has a red right eye and a white left eye. Thus, all of Donald's systems of deduction collapses when it comes up against this last obstacle, which destroys his whole theory. In spite of coincidences which seem to be definite proofs, Donald and Elizabeth not being parents of the same child are not Donald and Elizabeth. It is in vain that he thinks he is Donald. It is in vain that she thinks she is Elizabeth. She in vain thinks that he is Donald. He in vain thinks that she is Elizabeth. They are sadly deceived. So who is the true Elizabeth? Who is the true Donald? Who has any interest in prolonging this confusion anymore? I don't know. Let's try not to know. Let's leave things as they are. My real name is Sherlock Holmes.
Let's forget all that has not passed between us. Now we've found each other, trying to lose each other anymore and live as we did before.
Yes, darling.
Good evening, dear friends. Please forgive us for having made you wait so long. As soon as we learned that you have given us the pleasure of coming to visit us without prior notice, we hurried to dress for the occasion.
Where have you been? We waited for 4 whole hours and we've had nothing to eat all day. Why have you come so late?
Oh, but definitely.
We all have colds.
Yet, it's not chilly.
There's no draft.
Oh no, fortunately.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Don't you feel well?
No, he's wet his pants.
Oh, sir, at your age, you shouldn't.
The heart is ageless.
That's true.
So they say.
They also say the opposite.
The truth lies somewhere between the two.
That's true.
Since you travel so much, you must have many interesting things to tell us.
Yes, dear. Tell us what you've seen today.
Well, I doubt you guys would believe me.
We're not going to question your sincerity.
You will offend us if you think that.
You will offend them if you think that.
Well, I witnessed something very extraordinary, something really incredible.
Oh yes, do tell us quickly.
Oh, this is going to be amusing.
Well, I went to the supermarket to buy some vegetables, which are getting dearer and dearer.
Where is it all going to end?
Don't interrupt, my dear. It's very rude.
And I was in the street near the cafe, and I saw this man, and he was about 50 years old or less than that.
Who what?
Who what?
Stop interrupting, my dear. You're disgusting.
My dear, it is you who interrupted first, you bore.
Hush. Please, what was this man doing?
I went into the street, and I saw that he was bent down on one knee, and he was bent over.
Oh.
Yes, bent over.
It's not possible.
Yes, he was bent over and I went over to see exactly what he was doing
And?
and he was tying his shoelace, which had come undone.
Fantastic! Why, if someone else would have told me this, I would not have believed them.
And why not? One sees extraordinary things every day. Just today, I saw a man seated on a bench, reading a newspaper.
What a character!
Well, perhaps it was the same man. Goodness, someone is ringing.
There must be someone there. I'll go see. Nobody.
I'm going to give you another example.
Goodness, someone is ringing.
There must be someone there. I'll go see. Nobody.
You were saying that you were going to give us another example.
Oh, yes!
Goodness, someone is ringing.
I'm not going to open the door again.
But someone's there.
The first time there was no one. Second time, nobody. What makes you think there's going to be someone there now?
Because someone has rung.
That's no reason.
What? When one hears the doorbell, it is usually because there is somebody there!
Not always. You've just seen otherwise.
In most cases, yes.
As for me, when I go to someone's house and I want to be admitted, I ring the doorbell and I think everyone does the same thing, and that each time there's a ring, there must be someone there.
That's true in theory, but in reality things happen differently.
Your wife is right.
Oh, you women always stand up for each other.
Well, I'll go see. But you cannot say that I am obstinate. You see, nobody. Oh, these men who always think they're right and who are always wrong.
Goodness, someone is ringing. There must be someone there.
Don't send me to open the door again. You have seen that it is useless. Experience teaches us that when the doorbells ring, it is because there is nobody there. Never.
That's not entirely accurate.
There's someone there.
No.
Yes.
I tell you no. In any case, you are not going to disturb me again. If you wish to know, go look yourself.
I'll go. Well, it's the fire chief.
I can buy a pocket knife for my brother, but you cannot buy Ireland for your grandfather.
One walks on his feet, but heats with electricity or coal.
He who sells an ox today shall have an egg tomorrow.
In real life, one must look out the window.
You can sit down in a chair when the chair doesn't have any.
One must always think of everything.
The ceiling is above and the floor is below.
When I say yes, it's only in a matter of speaking.
To each his own.
Take a circle, caress it, and it will become vicious.
Inquired.
A schoolmaster teaches his pupils to read, but a cat suckles her young when they are still small.
But it is true. The cow gave us the tails.
When I'm in the country, I love the solitude and the quiet.
You're not old enough for that.
Benjamin Franklin was right. You are more nervous than he.
What are the 7 days of the week?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Edward is a clerk. His sister Nancy is a typist. And his brother William is a shop assistant.
An odd family.
I prefer a bird in the bush to a sparrow in the barrow.
Rather a steak in the chalet than gristle in the castle.
An Englishman's home is truly his castle.
I don't speak enough Spanish to make myself understood.
I will give you my mother-in-law's slippers if you'll give me your husband's coffin.
I'm looking for a monophysite priest to marry to our maid.
Red is a staff. But bread is also a staff. And an oak springs from an oak every morning at dawn.
My uncle lives in the country, but that's none of my midwife's business.
Paper is for the writing, cats for the rat, and cheese is for the scratching.
The car goes fast, but the cook beats better.
Don't beat turkeys, rather kiss the conspirator.
Charity begins at home.
I'm waiting for the aqueduct to come visit me at my window.
One can prove that social progress is definitely better with sugar.
To hell with polishing!
One cannot polish spectacles with black wax.
Yes, but with money one can buy anything.
I'd rather kill a rabbit than sing in the garden! Ah! Cockadoos, 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 cockadoos!
Such caca, such caca, such caca, such caca, such caca, such caca, such caca!
Such cascades of caca, such cascades of caca, such cascades of caca!
Dogs have fleas, dogs have fleas.
Cactus, crocus, cockroach, cock-egg, cockroach.
In Cascur, you in Cascus.
I'd rather lay an egg in a box than go and steal an ox!
Uh-oh, let me gnash my teeth.
Crocodile.
Let's go! It's fabulous!
I'm going to live in my cabana among my cacao trees.
Cacao trees and cacao farms don't bear coconuts, they yield cocoa. Cacao trees on cacao farms don't bear coconuts, they yield cocoa. Cacao trees and cacao farms do not bear coconuts, they yield cocoa.
I like bananas!
Mice have lice, lice have a mice.
Don't roosh my brooch.
Don't smooch the brooch!
Groom the goose, don't goose the groom.
The goose grooms.
Groom your tooth.
Groom the bridegroom!
Groom the bridegroom. Seducer, seduced.
Sarah Mooch.
Samson the tooth.
Go take a noosh.
I've been goosed.
Samson the Choo stoops on my cartouche.
Who stooped to blame? I never chose to stoop.
Robert Browning. Rudyard Kipling. Robert Kipling. Rudyard Browning.
Silly gobgoblins,
Marietta Spot the Pot.
Christamorty.
The Pope elopes, the Pope's got no horoscope, the horse goes to spoke.
Bizarre, Balzac bazooka.
Bizarre billards and braziers!
A-E-I-O-U, 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 A-E-I-O-U-I.
B, C, D, F, G, H, H, K, L, M, N, P, O, W, X, Y, and Z.
From sage to stooge, from stage to surge!
Choo, 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 choo.
It's
Not
That!
Wait.
It's
Oh.
the
Here.
It's not that way, it's over here. It's not that way, it's over here. It's not that way, it's over here. It's not that way, it's over here.
I am Francisco Vasquez Garcia, and welcome to Almeria. And we have cingas and can leche, we have fiesta and faria. We have the sun of the chinchona, we have brandy and half corona. And Leonardo and his accordion, and calamari when you stop at 1 and 3. When you whispers in this one's ear, will you quietly kill a doll for